Well, I haven't seen much criticism of it, to be frank. Peter, I think Scott Morrison and Josh Frydenberg might have saved Australia here. I don't want to sound too dramatic about it, but we were heading towards a really bad place. 20% unemployment. I mean, it affects 6 million people, maybe even higher. They had to do this. You know, I've been one of a number of people pushing for this. And it's just so important because it keeps employers and employees and businesses tied together. It keeps businesses afloat and it keeps employees afloat, and it gives people hope.
Well, I mean, we had Shane Oliver on the show earlier, and his language has definitely shifted. I mean, you're right, people were talking about unemployment rate being at about 20%. He seems to think now it'll be single figures. There is a bit of talk about how much debt Australia will be in now. But Andrew, does it matter when you consider that this is something that just had to be done?
Yeah, well, it's not something that Scott Morrison, I think, enjoyed doing. I mean, it's not something that he believes in ideologically, and he's spent a long time arguing about labour deficit and debt. So it's really a foreign thing that he's had to do here, but I'm glad he's done it. You know, if you ask the Australian people, would they rather have 10% unemployment or 20% unemployment as opposed to 600 billion worth of debt or 800 billion? I think you know what their answer would be. Yes, it comes with a cost. It's a terrible thing. We're going to be in more debt. But our debt to GDP position is a lot better than many countries. And that's why we had the room to do this. And thank God we did.
And well, on that, how much room is left?
Well, debt to GDP is 1.5 trillion. So quite a bit. But they lifted the debt ceiling from 600 billion to 850. Yeah, I mean, it's a valid question because what happens if... in 6 months the coronavirus isn't gone and we need another 3 or 6 months of this? That's the scary thing for Scott Morrison at the moment.
What is the PM and the Treasurer eyeing off next? I mean, you know, we've got Virgin Australia now asking for $1.4 billion as part of a broader $5 billion rescue package for the airline industry. Is that likely to be given? What are you hearing on that front?
Yeah, I did hear there might be some more money for the airlines, so keep an eye on that. And I also heard, I know there's more economic announcements this week, so even more to the debt, I suppose. But we definitely know this was by far the bulk of it, this wage subsidy announcement. But yeah, there'll be more initiatives, and I think, you know, one of the things is rental assistance that's being spoken about. It's been some weeks now they've been talking about sorting out this rent business. Rent versus landlords, and it's complicated. The states and the federal government have been talking about it for a couple of weeks and saying they'd have something to say on it. So I heard you asking Jason Clare about it before. It is a vexed question. I mean, do you put landlords out of business as well? You've got to think about that and the flow and effect to the economy from that. So that's a vexed question going forward. I'd be interested to see if that's part of the package this week.
So when is that going to be coming down?
The rest of the package?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Right. Where are we? I lose track these days. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
I think probably Thursday, but we'll see.
Sorry, I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Andrew Clennell, good to get your thoughts, mate. Thanks for coming on. We'll chat to you again soon.
Peter, just one thing I want to raise before I go off. I do find it extraordinary, these penalties in New South Wales, up to 6 months jail. And, you know, I wonder if they should have another look at some aspects of this public health order, because at the moment, if you went and visited your brother, it might not be reasonable excuse. You might be in the clink, mate. So I think that there needs to be a provision for visiting family and that sort of thing.